Happy Sunday. I am sitting on my porch and we are gonna have a chat about depression. I'm gonna drink this big old glass of sangria and we're gonna have us a chat because it has been a day. And there may be some things that people are not aware of when it comes to depression that they need to be aware of, because your friends, your loved ones could be in danger, people. Like, it's not pretty, it's not anything to take lightly, and you need to know how to talk to these people. So many people do not. So many people have no idea how to talk to a depressed person, and a lot of people mean well, and they say the wrong thing, and it just makes it worse. So get you some education this morning. I'm gonna keep drinking this sangria. Forgive the loud train in the background. There's a train track right by my apartment, so it's like vroom as I'm trying to talk. But anyway, so what sets a person into a rut? What sets someone with depression into a rut? It can be nothing. It can be something very small. It can be something big. It can be just the wrong day. You woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day and there is just no hope for you. Today, for me, first of all, a little bit of background. I was clinically diagnosed with depression at the age of 9. So I have been dealing with this for a long time. I am somewhat fortunate in the sense that I know my triggers, kind of, and I know what I need to do when I'm in the middle of something. Like, I know, okay, I'm starting to get that feeling of I just want to lay around and do absolutely nothing. Time to get out of the house. Time to get in some sunshine. Time to, something like that. I've gotten pretty good at being able to recognize when I'm on the verge and prevent it. But sometimes there's just no preventing it. So anyway, I've been dealing with it for a really long time. Sometimes it'll just hit for no reason. That's the thing. When your chemicals, pardon me, sangria break. When your chemicals are jacked up, you don't have control over it. It's not like, oh, just stop being sad. That's not how it works, It's just like with anxiety, which I also have. I'm a barrel of fun, let me tell you. It's just like anxiety. It doesn't have to be a trigger. It could just be this creeping feeling of doom washing over you that you have no idea where it came from. Same thing with depression. So this morning, sorry to give so much background on me, but you kind of need to understand the context in order to understand why this was so devastating. Before I got my teaching degree, I worked at an office job that I absolutely hated. I may have mentioned this in a previous video, I can't remember, but if I didn't, hated it. It was stressful, I was miserable, it was not what I wanted to do with my life. I love music. I've always loved music. I've always wanted to do something with music. Originally, I wanted to be a performer, but when I realized how cutthroat that lifestyle was and how just competitive and difficult that road was, I knew I wanted a husband, I knew I wanted children and a family, and I was just like, I don't think this is for me. But I always knew I wanted to do something with music. So this is post my divorce and all of that. I'm sitting in my office job. I'm completely miserable, like absolutely, completely and utterly miserable, day in, day out. Oh, thank you for sharing your crappy music. I don't need your bass, fool. I almost cussed. I'm trying to keep this PG, y'all. I'm trying really hard. Anyway, I made the decision to go back and get my teaching degree because I was so miserable in that job. So here's the build-up, all right? Here's the build-up that you need to understand. Me getting my music ed degree was supposed to be the thing that finally made me happy, all right? That's the important thing that you have to understand. This was supposed to be my saving grace. This was supposed to be the thing that was like, all right, I finally get to do what I love. I finally get to do something with music, the core of my existence, the thing that has kept me alive through so much trauma and so much abuse and all this other garbage, okay? This was supposed to be it. This was like, this is my career. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to love it. It's going to be wonderful, right? No. And sangria break. I got a job at a very tough school that more often than not makes me want to just bawl my eyes out on a daily basis. I love my children as much as I can, but they can be very hateful. They can be very mean. They can be very rude. And they don't care about anything. The little ones, yeah, sure, okay, but the older ones, they just do not care. I have poured so much of my energy over the past year and a half, almost 2 years, into these children, trying to get them to care, trying to get them to respect me and heed me and understand, why they're there to learn music, why music is so important. And in some ways it's worked, and in other ways it has not. And it's been difficult lately. Okay, so back to the depression, right? That's the situation that I'm in. That is the stress that I face day in and day out to begin with. Okay, so I get this side gig. I'm like, this is going to be great. Even if my regular job stresses me out to no end and I'm unable to achieve the things that I want to achieve there, this will be the thing. This will be good. So I get a side gig doing music lessons for littles. And it's teaching things I've never really taught before. It's using somebody else's curriculum and all of that. And I'm used to doing my own thing. I'm used to teaching private lessons, kind of running my own show, so to speak. And, even in the classroom, it's my classroom. I'm running the show. This is using somebody else's ideas, somebody else's curriculum, somebody else's structure, so on and so forth. I'm teaching things I've never taught, like ukulele and, a piano curriculum to like very small children, and it's disorienting. And I knew the first day was going to be a little bit rough, because it always is. Even Monday, the first day I'm teaching a batch of lessons, is always a little bit iffy until I get in the groove and, can memorize it for the rest of the week. Well, I did my best. The first session I thought was pretty good. I felt good about it. The second session was a little bit rough, but we got through it, and I thought, okay, well, I know what to do for next time. Well, I got an email this morning from my boss at that side gig, basically telling me that I was absolutely terrible, with an entire list rundown of all the things that I did wrong, the things I said that were wrong, the, techniques I used that were wrong, the pacing was wrong. I mean, just tearing into me, not in any mean way necessarily, but just laying it all out there. And it completely broke me. More sangria. Completely broke me. I'm talking, I don't know the last time I have cried that hard. I couldn't do anything after that. It's now like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have accomplished nothing. I was up early for no reason. I read the email, and it just wrecked my entire day. I spent about 2 hours this morning just bawling, like sobbing so hard that I gave myself a headache. Heaving sobs. I'm talking like body racking, not just a little bit, like I sounded friggin' pathetic. And it just totally broke me. I mean, I'm talking, I was texting a suicide hotline. I'm sorry if that triggers anybody, but I'm just being honest here, because people with depression need to be honest about what they struggle with. We need to be honest. We need to be talking about this and having conversations about this, because it's bad. And sometimes we feel like there's nobody we can talk to. Even my friends, I sometimes feel like, oh, if I talk to them, they're just going to judge me. Or if I tell my mom, she's just going to say something that makes me feel bad or feel like a burden. Or, I love you, Mom, no offense. But you feel like you're a giant burden to begin with, and you don't want to bother people with your crap. So it was the buildup of, hold on, fixing hair. It was a buildup of many things. My loneliness, my lack of companionship, my career struggles, my broken dreams, my broken hopes over the past couple of years, it just slammed into me like a freight train. And this is the first time I've gotten up off the couch all day. I just was like, I need to make a video and I need to just talk and get this out and sip some wine. And so something like that derailed my entire day. Because people with depression like myself, we bottle things up. A lot of us are professionals, a lot of us are, out there in the world doing jobs. And we are the ones, the saddest people wear the biggest smiles, as they say. If you know me, quote unquote, know me, bunny ears with a wine glass, you know that I'm a very bubbly person and I'm very upbeat. But if you saw the crap that was going on inside my head, it's the darkest place you could possibly imagine. I hate myself. I feel like a waste of space. I feel like a burden. I feel like people don't like me. I feel like everything I've ever wanted or hoped for has been a failure because I'm a failure. That's the truth. That is what's on the inside, y'all. This smiley, happy, that's called trying to be better for somebody else. Trying to make your day better, because if I can't make myself feel good, at least I can make you feel good. And that makes me feel a teeny bit less like a piece of utter crap. That is the reality of depression, y'all. It is not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to clean your house, not wanting to cook food, eating junk because it makes you feel marginally better. All I've had to eat today is a bowl of Fruit Loops and some Cheetos. That's it. That's been my day. And now drinking this sangria. I'm a model of perfect health. And it's my birthday week. And all my friends are busy or have no money, so my birthday on Friday is probably going to be another big source of depression, because again, I'm going to feel lonely and I'm going to feel like nobody cares. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe that'll be another vlog, who knows. So that's it, y'all. Now, as far as how to talk to people that are having a bad depressive episode like I was earlier, don't say stuff like, well, just chill out. And I'm not saying that anyone has necessarily said this to me, I'm just giving you examples of what not to say. Or, you were okay a couple days ago, what happened? Stuff like that. You might mean well, but that makes a person feel, kind of cruddy, I mean, oh, well, you can be okay 5 seconds ago and then now be a wreck. It's called a mental disorder. Same with anxiety. You could be okay 1 minute and not okay the next. That's just the nature of it. And I'm medicated, and I don't think it's working anymore. Even me being medicated, I'm like, still, there's only so much a medicine can do, The rest has to be done, I don't know, maybe through therapy. I'm sure I need some. I know I have a lot of unresolved things that have just been carried around on my heart for years. Another sangria break. Yeah. Just watch what you say to these people. Don't make them feel like they're a pain in the ass. Ooh, I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I've been trying to not swear. We'll make this a PG-13 video. I'm sorry I said one cuss word. Yeah. Anyway. Don't make them feel like they're a pain in the booty. They already feel like a burden. Don't say anything that's going to make them feel like more of a burden. Don't act like it's something that they can just fix, because they can't. The best thing you can do is just listen. When they've got all this stuff off their chest that they need to say, then you can offer advice, and then you can give suggestions and stuff like that. The person I was talking to this morning was talking about self-care, and I almost laughed. I was like, self-care? What self-care? I'm a single mom. I can't afford to get a massage. I can't even afford to get my nails done half the time. Like, I would love to have real self-care. I would love to have a man that just, gave me a foot massage after a long day of teaching, but I don't have any of those things. So my version of self-care is, I don't know, playing games on my phone and drinking sangria. That's it. That's my self-care. I don't have any self-care. I've given my life to these children and to my child. There's nothing left for me. Like, I don't have self-care. But anyway, let's see. Other things you shouldn't say to a depressed person. Try to think. My brain is so foggy right now. I apologize. I'm out here trying to help people. I don't even know if I'm being helpful, but, you know, just don't say anything. How about that? Just listen for a while. Empathize. Be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're going through that. How can I help? How can I not be like, suck it up and deal with a buttercup, or, you know, whatever. Empathize as best you can, but don't go to the extreme of acting like you know, because you don't know. Don't be like, oh, I know how that feels. Be like, I can imagine how that must feel. You know, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Empathize, listen, and then you could offer advice once they've gotten it all off their chest. A lot of people don't know that. They try to be helpful. Like, oh, well, just go make some friends, or go blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it is physically difficult to grow. I feel like there's a weight holding me to the couch. It takes as much effort as I can physically muster just to get up. That is depression. It is like a weighted blanket that is blackness and darkness and despair that is just clinging to you, and you have to forcibly throw that sucker off in order to do anything. So there you have it. From someone who has suffered with depression and mental health disorders for a long time, that is the best metaphor that I can come up with. And it's not something you could control or stop. It's just there. Sometimes it lets you be, and sometimes it pimp slaps you or runs into you like a freight train, like what happened to me this morning. I got hit by a freight train, and now I'm still going, okay, need to do lesson plans. My apartment looks like an absolute wreck. I need to somehow summon the energy to get this done. And on one last final note, I just want to say that just because you have a belief or you have a relationship with God does not mean that your mental health is perfectly fixed. I can tell you that right now. You know, I love the Lord. I try to pray as much as I can. Right now, I just feel like I'm in a rut all around because I just can't see the hope anymore. You know, I might be all right tomorrow. You know, tomorrow I might have a clearer head, but right now I don't feel like praying. I don't feel like hitting my knees. I feel betrayed almost. You know, I feel like every corner of my life is just a hot mess. You know, my relationships are a mess. My career is a mess. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. My finances are a mess. Every portion of my life that people value, like outside of the Christian realm of relief, you know, the hedonistic things like romantic relationships, money, job, you know, family, all those things that humans value are in the toilet for me and have been for a long time. And I just don't see the point in thinking that it's going to get better. I went from one rough job to another rough, stressful job. I've gone from bad marriage to bad almost marriage to crappy other relationship. I've gone from bad finances to getting in a debt program, but still having people blow up my phone every hour on the hour like, hey, you owe us money. And being a single mom on top of all of it. The only thing that is not crappy right now in my life is my child. He's the only thing that has his ish together right now, and even he has several diagnoses that it's like, I never know when one of those is going to flare up. I have to stay on top of his grades constantly. You know, he's ADHD. I have to make sure he's on top of his work, because if it were up to him, he would just space cadet. I constantly have to be on that boy, worried about that boy. And, you know, things are going good for him right now, but it's been rough in the past. If that's my one positive, and that's hanging by a thread, what good is left? What good is left? I feel like I am the absolute worst teacher in the world. That's how I feel. Whether it be true or not, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm a joke. this thing that I wanted so badly that was going to solve all my problems has turned to be another cause of stress and disappointment in myself, self-loathing, and I just don't know where to go from here. I don't know where to go from here. And that's depression, that hopeless, that despair. And even someone like me who has a relationship with God, doesn't mean it's perfect. Some days are better than others. Today I have been thrown for such a loop. I've been thrown for such a loop that I don't even know where to begin to recover. I'm going to go in my house and I'm going to clean. I'm going to force myself to clean. In fact, I might obsessively clean because I'm depressed. I'm going to drink more of this. I'm going to slap up some lesson plans. And then I'm probably going to watch horror movies. I don't know. One day at a time, y'all. Any suggestions, any, tips, I'm open to them at this point, because I feel like I have accomplished nothing as a human being, as an educator, as somebody that's supposed to nurture and help other people. I feel like I have failed in all areas. And that's depression. That's depression. Telling you that you're worthless, telling you that you're a failure, and that you no longer deserve to be on this planet. That's the core of it. It's that voice in your head telling you all of those things on a continuous loop. So if you know anyone that suffers from depression, please be patient with them, because they have a dark negative force that is at work in their life and in their mind 24/7. Hope this was helpful or enlightening to somebody. If you felt these things, you are not alone at all. If you feel those things right now, you are not alone. If you feel like you're a terrible, believer in God because you still struggle with depression, you're still a human being. It is what it is. I'm gonna drink the sangria and be off. Have a lovely day.